My girlfriend made fun of intimate details about me in front of her friends, so I broke up with her. It all started last Friday evening. One of my girlfriend's best friends had just returned from a trip abroad, and they decided to celebrate. Initially, they planned to have a party or something like that, but then decided to go to a restaurant and then to one of the friends' houses to watch movies or do some other silly stuff. Basically, it was supposed to be an all-girls hangout. There were about 12 of them. My oldest sister, who is close friends with my girlfriend and part of their inner circle, also went with them. It sounded fun, and I wished them a good time. My girlfriend came over to my place before the hangout, and my sister drove her to the restaurant where they were all meeting. The plan was for my sister to drive her back home later and then come back to our place. We both live with our parents. They left around 6 o'clock p.m. and I didn't expect my sister back before midnight or 1 o'clock a.m. if she didn't just decide to stay over at a friend's place. But unexpectedly, my sister came home alone at around 9:30 p.m. and she was clearly angry and annoyed. We asked her what had happened. She said she was just tired and not in the mood. I asked if she had driven my girlfriend home. She replied, "No, let her take a taxi." That was strange because she was obviously mad, and I know my sister, she's not someone who gets angry easily. She was even slamming doors and all that. The next day, she seemed a bit better, but she was still upset. I kept asking what happened, but she refused to tell me. She said it was nothing special, just that she'd been tired and maybe feeling unwell. On Sunday, she finally told me. She said, "Listen, something happened that night when I was with your girlfriend and her friends." I said, "Yeah, I figured." She continued, "You're not going to like what I tell you, but you need to hear it." My first thought was, oh God, she's cheating on me. My sister started telling me how the evening went, how they had a great time at the restaurant and then went to a friend's house, started watching a movie they didn't like, so they didn't finish it. Then they couldn't pick another movie, so they started drinking and gossiping. You know, talking about exes, current boyfriends, relationships, and intimate stuff, my sister said, your girlfriend might have had a little too much to drink and started saying things about you. Things she shouldn't have said. I asked, what exactly did she say? My sister replied, you don't want to know. I told her, you can't just start and not finish, tell me. She said, I really didn't want to bring it up, but since you insist, I guess you have the right to know. And then she told me what my half-drunk girlfriend had said about me. She joked about how, when we first started dating, I was a virgin and knew absolutely nothing in bed. She mocked my inexperience and pathetic attempts. The girls also laughed about the shape of my equipment. It's slightly curved to one side. I had never been self-conscious about it, thinking it was no big deal and that most girls wouldn't care. My girlfriend had never said anything about the shape before, but now I feel incredibly awkward about it. She also said that I finish too quickly and make strange sounds. At that point, I was like, what the hell? Why would she even talk about this? How drunk was she? Turns out, not very, just a couple of glasses of wine, no more. I told my sister, why did you even tell me this? I wish I didn't know. Now I just feel hurt. She replied, I thought you should know that your girlfriend says things like that. I just couldn't stay in the same room with her while she was saying it. That's why I got so mad and left early, after she told me. My sister clearly felt better, but I still couldn't understand why it made her so angry. Yes, my girlfriend said some unpleasant things and shared intimate details, which hurt me, but why was my sister so furious? It didn't make sense to me. Maybe someone can explain? I feel awful. I'm depressed. It's like, instead of talking to me directly, she just mocked me in front of her friends. Am I right to be upset and hurt? Or am I just overreacting? Is it okay for her to discuss these things with her friends, even if they were all gossiping? Should I bring this up with her and tell her it hurt me? What if she says, just forget about it, or it's no big deal, even though it's not a small thing to me? Maybe I'm just too sensitive? Before we continue with what happened next, I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments. Answer the author's questions. Personally, I think the situation is kind of two-sided. On one hand, talking about intimate details with friends is somewhat normal. But on the other hand, definitely not in front of the guy's sister. If I were a brother, I'd be very upset if my sister's boyfriend talked about her intimate details in such a mocking way, because my sister is basically a part of me, and if they mock her, they're mocking me too. That's why I think the sister was so bothered. So if the guy never found out, maybe she could gossip with her friends, but definitely not in front of his sister. That said, I expect many people will. Say that it's absolutely unacceptable to discuss this even with close friends. Fair enough, I can't say for sure what's right or wrong, but I'm certain a lot of people do it. Let's continue. Update. It's been a week full of ups and downs. There's been a lot of chaos, but things have finally calmed down, and I have time to fully explain what happened. Some commenters supported me, some criticized me, that's normal. I appreciate all the advice. I hope this update will clear things up. When my sister told me what my girlfriend had said, my mood hit rock bottom. It was a low blow. I suddenly felt that my girlfriend had been treating me much worse than I thought. Did she look down on me because I was a virgin? Did she really think I was so bad in bed that it was worth mocking in front of her friends? Or do girls always do this? I hope not. I also became extremely self-conscious about my equipment. I had never thought there was anything wrong with its shape. I thought a slight curve to the side was just a personal feature. I didn't think it would bother my girlfriend. I didn't even know how abnormal it might be. Honestly, I haven't seen that many in real life. It's a bit embarrassing to admit, but I even Googled some pictures to see if I had some kind of defect or condition. In the end, I realized I was exaggerating the problem, but my self-esteem still took a serious hit. I realized I needed to have a serious talk with my girlfriend about this. The more I thought about the situation, the more I began to doubt myself, my actions, my behavior. I even stopped trusting my own opinion of myself. Maybe I really was overreacting, most likely. But I had opened up to my girlfriend in a way I had never opened up to anyone else before. I trusted her to be the first person I was intimate with. I felt deceived and betrayed because she had turned my inexperience into a joke in front of her friends. Everyone is bad in bed at the beginning, right? I can't be the only one. And even if what she said was true, why didn't she tell me directly? I would have preferred to know and try to get better rather than remain the object of ridicule. I truly cared about her and wanted her to discuss things like this with me, not with others. Naturally, I felt awful and lost my confidence. My first reaction was completely wrong. I started pestering my sister with questions, demanding that she repeat every detail of what my girlfriend had said. My sister didn't want to talk about it again, but I insisted, explaining that I needed this information for my talk with my girlfriend. It was obvious my sister was uncomfortable, but in the end, she repeated everything my girlfriend had said. That night, I asked if she was okay with me telling my girlfriend that I'd heard it from her. My sister sighed and agreed, realizing that my girlfriend would probably guess anyway. I asked, "Do you think I should talk to her about it?" My sister replied, "Yes, if you feel you need to, but promise me you won't stay with her just because she was your first or out of some sense of obligation. I've watched you suffer all day over her words, and I don't think she deserves you." After that, I started snapping at my sister and got really angry. I was mad at her for telling me in the first place. I told her it would have been better if I'd never known. At first, my sister apologized and tried to drop the conversation. But I kept pressing her, accusing her, and bombarding her with questions. She stayed silent, obviously upset, then suddenly stormed off to her room. I followed her and kept pushing. "Why did you even tell me? What made you think I needed to know?" I clearly crossed the line. My sister suddenly opened her door and yelled something like, "Oh, I don't know, maybe because I love you. Did you think of that for even 1 second? Go to hell. Sorry for trying to protect you when she clearly doesn't give a damn about you. But sure, go running back to her, you deserve each other." She called me a damn idiot several times and slammed the door in my face. I tried knocking and opening the door, but she had locked it and turned her music up loud. She didn't come out for the rest of the day, and I felt absolutely awful. I was deeply ashamed of how I'd lashed out at her. I knew I was 100% to blame for that conflict. I'm sure people in the comments will tear me apart for it, and rightfully so. I deserved it. I acted like an idiot and treated the only person who was on my side terribly. I lashed out without thinking and hurt someone close to me. In the end, I decided to talk to my girlfriend directly. The next day, I called her. She was in a good mood, happy to hear from me, and said she'd been waiting for my call. We met up, went for lunch, and I kept waiting for the right moment to bring up the topic, but I couldn't. She asked if she could hang out at my place for a couple of hours before heading home. I said yes. It turned out her parents had guests that day and she didn't want to go home. We were sitting at my place and I finally decided to bring it up. My sister was upstairs listening to loud music, so I figured she wouldn't come down. I told my girlfriend, listen, I don't really know how to start this, but something's been bothering me. It's about what you said about me to your friends. Then I repeated everything she had told them. Her response was, that's it. I knew something was bothering you, and that's all you wanted to say? Then she started brushing it off, saying she couldn't believe I was seriously upset over that. I told her she knew perfectly well how important her opinion was to me, that her words had really hurt, and that I thought she owed me an apology. She said, fine, sorry, I shouldn't have said that, and promised not to do it again. She said she hadn't expected me to react so strongly. But then she started waving it off again, saying it was silly to be offended over such a thing, that girls always talk about that kind of stuff with each other and joke about guys behind their backs, that it was just a game. I told her it hurt me, and she just made a sarcastic face and I think laughed at me. Then she asked, how did you even find out? I replied that when you say things about someone in front of other people, it's easy for that information to get back to them. She immediately asked, was it your sister? I said, but maybe you should have thought before saying something about her brother in front of her. She said, I knew it. That's it, you bitch. I hate when she's around. She always acts like she's so perfect, like she's better than everyone else. I told her, hey, that's my sister you're talking about. Don't you dare say that. But my girlfriend kept complaining about my sister, completely twisting the situation and blaming her for everything. She said, none of this would have happened, and I wouldn't even have known if my sister had just kept quiet. I tried to explain that my sister was just looking out for me and shouldn't be blamed. She replied, do you seriously think that? Your sister is always pretending to be a saint, but she loves stirring up drama. She likes to stir the pot. Why else do you think she told you? I said that wasn't true. My sister was just worried about me, and my girlfriend needed to stop accusing her. My girlfriend said if your sister really cared about your feelings, she wouldn't have told you anything. Then she started asking if my sister was home right now. I told her she was upstairs in her room, but now was definitely not the best time to bring it up. We stayed sitting in the living room, and soon my sister came downstairs on her own. As she walked in, she called my name, saying she needed to tell me something important. But when she saw me with my girlfriend, she stopped and said, oh, I didn't know you were here. An icy silence fell between them, followed by an awkward small talk. The atmosphere was extremely tense. Then my girlfriend suddenly started, what the hell are you doing interfering in our relationship? My sister was so shocked she just stared at her without saying a word. My girlfriend went on, don't pretend you don't know what you did. I know you love stirring up trouble. Then she began accusing my sister of being untrustworthy, a terrible friend, and saying she shouldn't even come to girls' nights if she can't keep her mouth shut. I had to step in, but my girlfriend wouldn't stop. A full-blown argument broke out between them, and I kept trying to calm them down. Mostly, my girlfriend was ruthlessly attacking my sister. Tears welled up in my sister's eyes, and she turned to me. Why aren't you defending me? Do you even hear what this bitch is saying? How can you even be with her? At that moment, my girlfriend said she couldn't take it anymore and got ready to leave. Before she walked out, I told her I wanted to say something, and that's when I broke up with her. I didn't go into details, just told her I thought our relationship wasn't working out and it would be better for everyone if we stopped seeing each other. She was very upset and clearly didn't understand the reasons. I explained that because of everything that happened, it was best for us to split. And also, given the hostility between her and my sister, I simply couldn't be with her anymore. My girlfriend was sad, but I think she understood. She asked, can we at least stay friends? I said, maybe, we'll see. Right now, we definitely need a break from each other. We hugged, kissed one last time, said goodbye, and she left. My sister had disappeared somewhere, and I figured she went back to her room. I went upstairs and found her sitting on her bed, listening to music and staring at the floor. I sat down next to her and tried to comfort her. I told her I was really sorry, apologized for snapping at her and trying to blame her. I repeated how much I regretted everything that happened and apologized for my girlfriend's behavior toward her. My sister said my girlfriend was right, that she really was an idiot who always stuck her nose where it didn't belong, trying to ruin things when she should have just kept quiet. I told her she did the right thing. I understood she just wanted to protect me like any brother or sister would. I told her that just a few minutes ago I had broken up with my girlfriend. My sister said I made the right choice. I apologized again for making her go through all that. I hugged her and asked how I could make it up to her. She said the only thing she wanted was for me to smile more often. The next few days, my sister seemed down and gloomy, barely leaving the house. She tried to act strong and smiled, but I could tell something was wrong. On Friday afternoon, I noticed she was sitting at home, eating chips and watching cartoons on TV in some old, dirty clothes. She looked like she hadn't showered in a while, and her hair was greasy. I asked her what was wrong. She said nothing. I told her I thought she was going to the girls' night with her friends again, like last week. My sister replied, "Not anymore." I asked why. She said her friend had officially withdrawn her invitation. I was shocked. I said that was terrible. Is that how friends treat you? She said she no longer considered them her friends. All the girls she hung out with last week were now ignoring her. Some had unfriended her on social media and were avoiding her entirely. Apparently, they were very angry at her for spilling their gossip during the girls' night. The rest of the group simply followed my ex-girlfriend's lead. As soon as she decided to cut my sister out of her life, the others did the same. I was stunned. I couldn't believe so-called friends would completely erase someone from their lives over one incident. My sister just shrugged as if she didn't care anymore. I told her I was very sorry that all this happened because she decided to protect me and tell me what my girlfriend had said about me. My sister shrugged again. I apologized and told her I felt guilty and didn't understand how she didn't regret telling me. She replied, "Why should I regret it? I don't care about them. You're more important to me. I'll find new friends." I told her that was very sweet of her. I hugged her, sat next to her, and asked what she was watching. But she clearly wasn't interested in what was on the screen. My sister admitted that last time with her friends she had so much fun, and now it made her sad to think they were having a great time without her while she was sitting at home like a loser. Friday nights were their tradition. The girls would regularly go out together, so it was understandable she was upset. She lost that ritual, and along with it, a whole group of friends. I asked her which restaurant they were going to. She said they usually went to the same place every week. Apparently, it was a pretty cool and trendy spot. I said, "Screw them, you're not staying home. I'll take you somewhere better." At first, she thought I was joking, but I assured her I was dead serious. We changed clothes and I took her to a new restaurant I'd never been to before. It was insanely expensive. I spent over $200 on the two of us, but it was worth it. We had a great time and the food was amazing. At least. After that, her mood noticeably improved. I still feel ashamed for how I acted at first. I'm ashamed of my unjustified anger, rudeness, and recklessness toward my sister. Honestly, after breaking up with my girlfriend, I've been feeling so much better. I expected that right after the breakup I'd feel sad and second-guess myself, wondering if I did the right thing. But with each day, I'm more and more convinced I made the right decision. So that's it. What do you think about this story? Personally, I think the guy made the absolutely right choice. If he's not okay with something like that, of course they should break up. And yeah, it's obvious the girlfriend here was immature while he was much more mature with his sister, and for him that behavior was unacceptable. I'd probably not have broken up at the time, but only because I was extremely immature back then. Now, of course, I'd break up too. Even though I said in the middle of the story that I wasn't sure if it was normal, I said it with the idea that when people are young, they're often very immature and talk about such things. And not just young people, honestly, but who am I kidding? I'd probably still not be 100% sure I'd break up with such a girlfriend even now. Anyway, it actually made me feel kind of ashamed.